Shalom. All praises be to Yahweh Bashim El Shai, Bashim Akakwadash, double honors to the apostles and elder bishops over the great Millstone Church, and salutations to the rest of you, hopefully, the elders and Akim. So, yeah, this is going to be a response. All right, a response to some news that just took place, supposedly. And that's being, that was Trump. He had a dinner that was supposedly shot up. But without even starting it off like that, I'm entitled this staged or not, you are losing, and that can't be covered up. All right, so staged or not, you or y'all are losing, and that can't be covered up. All right, that's just what it is. These people are having these type of things supposedly going on with them happening to them in their own kingdom. And these people, by these people, I mean the so-called white people, the so-called white race. All right, the faces of everything that's so-called politically correct, in this day. All right, those over this world, those over this time. All right, this era or era, which is supposed to be, according to the scriptures, and as the scriptures also has it outlined, it's supposed to end. Again, this era, if you will, this world, this age, where these people, the current people who are ruling before the Messiah comes back, who are labeled Esau, Edom, all right, which obviously would be these so-called white people because they're ruling, and we're clearly at the end of the world, and they foot the bill. They foot the prophecies, just like we foot or fit the bill of the prophecies of being the Israelites, we being us so-called blacks, Negroes, Native American Indians, so-called Latinos, based upon our father's lineage. And these so-called white people, starting with the top of them, the central bankers, the central banking families, all right, the so-called elite, the Joes, as I call them, all right, the small hats, 1948ers, however you want to call them, on down to the rest of them, all right, they foot the bill of being the Edomites, all right, they're red, just like it says Edom will be. They're not actually white. They don't have any melanin. They live by the sword. All right. They're liars. They don't want anything that's truly do with the Heavenly Father. All right. Even if they had opportunity, they're just like Esau, is laid out in the Bible. But that's how I can say and understand, because I understand that, again, this is how their world's supposed to be going, which is truly them losing. They're just losing, man. All right. Here it is. You're in your kingdom and you're staging attacks. You coming up with propaganda to make everybody think, just for you to keep a grip. In order for you to keep a grip, you have to make everyone think that you, who are actually the enemy, aren't the enemy, and this enemy is against you. All right. So you hide the wickedness you do by acting like wickedness is being done to you, by staging wickedness. So you can keep being and no one won't catch on to you. All right. And this is being caught on to. It's completely see-through. The scriptures talk about that. All right. Say the eyes of them that see shall not be dim. All right. So getting into this, it says shots fired as would-be Trump assassin tries to storm White House correspondence dinner. All right. So you see him talking right there. And go figure. All right. This the so-called suspect, what appears to be a so-called black man. All right. And then you see the dang so-called footage right here. And it's fair use. All right. As you see, Lord willing, it's still working. But as you see, this is what they saying did it. This guy. Somehow, man. When so-called black people ain't that invested, man, in the politics like that. This is something that a so-called white man would do. Now, this could be a so-called white man nonetheless. But at the end of the day, this could just be off stage to begin with. I believe more than likely it 100% is. Because Esau is losing. All right. So again, if you didn't hear, this is the so-called suspect right here. All right. Which I again don't believe, because so-called black people aren't invested in politics. All right. They don't fare that well. He'd have been got stopped. All right. They're too busy worried about everything else, and they're too scared. But they want to make everyone think, this the type of, this what Jacob be doing with their time. No, this is what so-called white people will be doing with their time. But nonetheless, and I'm only repeating this because I'm not sure if the mic picked it up, but at the end of the day, this could all be staged. All right, as you see. So again, as I titled this, staged or not, you or y'all are losing. All right. And that can't be covered up. So let's get some scriptures. Isaiah 47:1, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. All right. And the virgin daughter of Babylon is the place that has never been touched. All right. And that's America, who's just like ancient Babylon. Why? Because Babylon means confusion. So America is also reminiscent of Babylon. It's also reminiscent of Babylon, because it's nothing more than a place of utter confusion. There's always some crap going on. Why would, they bomb themselves? Why would America, stage, the 9/11? And why would they, there's always some madness. All right. People don't know who the enemy truly is, or have a hard time. It's like the Spider-Man meme, when all of the Spider-Mans are pointing at each other. All right. And that's because of the damn so-called white man. Hence, who runs America? America. See? That's just because of them. Who did it? Who's the bad guy? But ironically, everyone pointing at who's supposed to be the bad guy is depicted or dressed as the good guy, while pointing at the other guy who's also dressed like the good guy. So that's crazy. Spider-Man is supposed to be a hero. All right. So the hero is supposed to be the one doing this. Why? Because the scriptures tell you everything's upside down. So who's truly like lying is depicted to always be telling the truth. Who's truly the devil is depicted to be the Messiah, Christ so-called himself, God himself. Light is put as darkness, dark is put as light. All right. So this is why people, this is another reason why this place is a place of confusion. All right. So let me finish this before I move on. It says, there is no throne, sit on the ground. All right. It's over with for this place. Come and sit down in the dust, O virgin, the daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne. You're not about to be ruled anymore. You so-called white people are done. So they doing all this crap so they can keep trying to rule. They want a way to try to keep a grip on the earth, and that's by keeping people completely asleep or making them think that they're innocent. You see, they're doing the right thing. They're fighting. Shit is fake. All this stuff is completely damn just made up. This is a bunch of proud, ugly devils. All right. Look at these people, man. All right. So, not making this up. None but witchcraft and acting. Read no. It says, sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Because you're seen to be a liar, man. You're seen to be a devil. You're lying. You're losing. And every time that is revealed more and more and more, you stir up some crap to where that's not seen. Let me keep reading. It says, thy nakedness, verse 3, shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts, Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel, right? Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, right? Get thee into darkness, man. Come out of the limelight. You get ready to go out and lead the limelight. All right. Embrace the darkness that you truly are of and supposed to be in. Okay. O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. See? So it's a time where this is going to happen to this place that the Lord is talking about, which is the virgin daughter of Babylon, this land that has never been touched. That's reminiscent of ancient Babylon. And that's talking about America, who obviously is the top so-called kingdom or country on this earth. All right. No one's going to see it as that way anymore. All right. Because of the wicked treachery that it does. So what they try to do is make people think, no, that's not really the case. It's people. We're not having a fair shot. We're trying to do the right thing. And here people go trying to, destroy us and take us out. They tried to act like Osama bin Laden, some guy named Osama bin Laden, who Saddam Hussein was after them. And it was, Arabs working for them the whole time. And they did the damn bombings just so you could think that. All right. And just so they can stay, people will be okay with letting them come to the table to negotiate and to rule. All right. So they can keep people under their rule, as they put them under the fact that America's where you free. It's the home of the hero, where we work for what we got. And nah, man, y'all lie, you steal, and you be sore losers. And we're always sore losers. All right, you be sore losers when you lose, and you was a sore loser, which is how you even got this dang place, because you was truly a people who lost everything. You lost everything. You didn't have anything really. All right, your ancestors sold the birthright, so forth and so on, man. So it's all running out of time. There's nothing they can do, man, and that can't be covered up. They're losing. All right, again, the eyes of them that see shall not be dumb. So let me read on. It says, I was wroth with my people, right? Because the Lord's people, being the so-called blacks, Native American Indians, and so-called Latinos, specifically the natives, right? The so-called Latinos, they were how you even got this country. All right. How America was even able to become the thing it is now. All right. The deception it is now. How is so-called white people able to rule and dictate through this place called, and deceive through this place called America. All right. To begin with, because you stole it by destroying, pillaging, robbing and lying to the natives that was here, who were actually the Lord's people, the Israelites. All right, which is why y'all found ancient Paleo Hebrew written on rocks and stones and mountains here. right? Like you got the Lost Ludens Decalogue stone. You got the is it the Lost Lunas? Let me see. Excuse me. Yeah, 100%. The Lost Ludens Decalogue stone, which was found in New Mexico, which is obviously not Mexico. It's a place in America, all right, where they found Hebrew, all right, written on rocks, obviously written by the natives who were here prior to this damn devil, all right, because no one else was ever here before besides them, okay? So it's all the Paleo Hebrew, man. So all this crap right here, it's a lie, man. It's a lie. It's 100% a lie. So Isaiah 47 and 7, and thou, so I was wroth with my people, right? So again, just saying all that to prove that these people these people who y'all took the land from was the Israelites, all right? And the reason why is because the Lord was wroth with them. They broke his commandments. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance and given them into thine hand. So America primarily holds the majority of the Israelites. Thou didst shew them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke, right? Making them subject to payments and these commercials and advertisement, all these drugs, this whole system. All right, constantly being a worker, filling a bag with holes, never suffering their dead bodies to be put in graves spiritually. You never allowed us to get rest, man. You wore out the saints. All right, now the Lord stepped in, intervened, and started waking us up. To where now you being exposed, man. To where now your time is up. But read, no, it says, and thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither did rememberest the latter end of it. And that's starting to hit them now. They remembering, wait, we not the people, how they did everything, you know, and that is all a lie. So now they have to be even more desperate when it comes to basically being wicked, which is why the scriptures say the devil cometh down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. So that great wrath consists of what? A lot more propaganda. This is Revelation 12 and 12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, by all you nations and races, you people that love America. For the devil is coming, or the so-called white man, period. For the devil is come down unto you, being the so-called white man. That's the devil, right? The deceiver, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. So it's a lot of propaganda reels they about to run. They're running right now because they see that they're going out of power. They're losing. And they're mad about it. So they trying to do everything they can, because the scriptures say their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. All right. But nonetheless, they're losing and it's over with. There's nothing they can do. All right. The Lord said that. He said, the things that come upon thee make haste. Deuteronomy 32 and 35, to me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time. For the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them make haste. And they see that, man. So now they're running. They're trying to do everything they can. Again, coming down, having great wrath, man. In all the ways that they can. Right? Because they know that they have but a short time. And it's all, a dumb effort, because the scriptures say his bounds are appointed, and he's not going to go past them. All right, and that's in Job, the 14th chapter. So back in Isaiah 47, and I'm gonna finish this. 8. Therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that saith in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment in the day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thy enchantment. So they're making it worse every time they come forth with more deception. All right. Because that's old. That was the first instance of so-called Trump being shot. All right. And now you have this one. They had that little damn so-called dinner. The shooter was very sick, heavily armed. All right. This is crazy, man. But this is what they're going to do. All right. It says, so they just making it worse. So again, staged or not, you're losing, and that can't be covered up. Right. And this can't be covered up. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, verse 10 of Isaiah 47. Thou said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it had perverted thee. And thou said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside I am. He said, and thou said in thine heart, I am, like you the Most High. I am. Right? Like you Yahweh, and you're not. It says, and none else beside me. And the Lord see all of this. So if you didn't think people could see you, or even the prophets could see you, guess what? The Lord see you. And the Lord revealing what he see us, what he already knew, what he been seeing, foreseen. Because he's making you do everything you're doing. So that's what all this is, man. Like, they're losing, wanting to cover it up, and they can't. Here it is. You just had the Epstein files coming out on Trump. And all of a sudden, he got this, who he says to be a loser shooting at him or whatever, however he said it. But you in the Epstein files, dog. And then with the Strait of Hormuz, right? The robbing of Venezuela, right? In recent time, and his involvement between you dealing with affairs of the East, right? You being America, you white people over America, you elites, you know, the America versus Iran, America and Israel versus Iran. All right, so where gas prices high, so forth and so on. So they gotta distract. They gotta cover up their losing, but it can't be covered up. So they just try to do the same old, 1-2 fake out or whatever, So it says, therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it rises. So that's why I could title it Staged or Not. Maybe you did get shot at for real. But it just shows y'all losing. Why? Because you have to do this. And 2, because you're in your kingdom and you're getting shot at. But it's even more loser-like to even think you're making all this up. Who got time to do this when they winning? Who? A loser. Someone that's truly not winning and truly losing. So again, therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it rises. So the devil really losing. He really catching L's. Some stuff he making up and some stuff he got a damn hide that was really real. To try to control the narrative. All right. By trying to control the narrative, it says, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries. Right? Every damn psyops y'all can come up with or think of. Put together the best one and see if it do anything. It won't. Wherein thou hast labor from thy youth. Right? So stand now with thy enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labor from thy youth. If so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. The Lord being sarcastic, it's not going to work. We're seeing through it. Y'all are losing. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly procrastinators, procrastinators, uh, uh, prognosticators, stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. And it's not going to happen. Behold, they shall be as stubble. See, they're going to get consumed, burnt right up by this word. You know, that psyop's going to get deleted by something that could happen to you tomorrow by the Heavenly Father that you might not even see coming. See? So, behold, all these things you use shall be as stubble. When what? When they feel the fire. What? As it goes on to say, the fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. So how could these things that was made to deliver you if they can't, if they're overcome, you see, and exposed and made out to be nothing through the word coming out in different other events that's actually real, to where you ain't got time to focus on that anymore. No one cares. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall be no coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before it. Right? It ain't gonna be. It's nothing you're gonna be able to do to get these things rolling, to really get these different psyopses you using to gain traction. That's what the Lord is saying. Thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander everyone to his quarter. None shall save thee. It ain't nobody at the table with America. This place is over with, man. All that shit is not working, bro. They trying to sit here and blame Jake and all this other madness, and it ain't working no more, man. All right. This is Revelation 12, straight to the point, and 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our God, our power. See, we about to rule. Y'all going down. You trying to hide that in the power of his anointed for the accuser of our brethren. See, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. That's all they do. Somehow this Jake fault. Jake did it. Alert. No, you the devil. You're the devil. You're the wolf. All right? And he might be working for y'all. You damn devil. And it's because you're doing all this corny stuff and you move like this to where you're coming out of power. Sirach 10:4, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. All right. Now to the point, it says, verse 8, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So that's the facts. These are the facts, man. All right. Verse 10, I'll end it here. The physician cutteth off a long disease. And that's what this place is, you so-called white people are. All you do is spread cancerous lies and your cancerous infectious mentality and way of thinking and try to win and stay in power. You see, or gain power. It's disgusting. And they got people moving like that. I could just lie to get in power or to stay in power. I could just make up some shit. The Lord gonna cut that off, man. This word, Yahweh, in the name of his son, Yahweh Shah, right? Who's the physician, who is truly his word. All right. Whose title is the word. So the physician cutteth off a long disease, which is why we're gonna keep bringing this out. All right. The Bible said a line, y'all. It says, and he that is today a king, tomorrow, right? And he that is today a king, tomorrow shall die. And that's it. All right. So staged or not, y'all are losing. And there's no way you can hide this, man. That can't be covered up. All right. So with that, I could say more, but I'll end it there. Call on Yahweh Bashmi Al Shah Shalom.